Morning everyone, Treasure Trolley here, and we're going to discuss Alone, episode 4, The Fly. I mean, there was 20 seconds of video about a flying in the air and they named it after that. Not a lot going on in this episode. I think they showed 5, there's 8 remaining. They started on day 17. There's 8 remaining. I think they showed 5 of the contestants. I know they didn't show the other female out there, Kylie, I guess, and Amos. I think that's what his name is. Guy from South America. I don't know what who the third one was. I thought it was kind of interesting that the beginning they show Mark trying to make a comb, and Callie gets into pottery, and then for a brief second they show Roland saying now's not the time to make knick-knack and tools, it's time to gather food. Even though he was only on for maybe 30 seconds, he still has been on every episode. He's been on every one of the after show discussions. Still giving him the winner's edit. I know I picked Callie as the number 2. I still hold out hope for her, but what concerns me about Callie as well as Mark is they don't really have the shelters. They've got their tarp with trees around it. I just don't think it's good. They're going to hold up well in the winter. And then we've got Keith. Keith was this week's tap out, and it was due to sickness. Sickness happens, but you could tell early on that he was probably going home this episode. He's not having much success with fishing or gathering food. And sometimes that can be misleading, because in previous seasons, the guy that, especially I keep going back to that guy that was from Grand Rapids, Michigan, that won it, he struggled to catch fish, and once he finally figured it out, he ended up winning the thing. But Keith was just kind of a different story. I do have to admit his fake out there on day 21 with the phone, I mean, that was good. And but then the next day, not so good as you tap out. It's not good, kind of like doing the head fake and then getting rejected at the rim when you're going up for the dunk. So I guess what really, I don't know, I want to say bothers me, but what sort of concerns me is, as much as I like this show, the producers are ruining this show. I was thinking I was going to have to watch this episode over again, because I thought Keith said in the boat that I wanted to make it 25 days. And it kind of passed me, and then I remembered Colby was giving him a little bit of a hard time about inking up 25 days. I mean, what the hell are you doing? What the hell are you doing? Your goal is 25 days. The goal of the show is 100 days. I don't think you would have won any of the seasons if you stayed 25 days. Maybe on the outside chance season 1. But the producers are going to ruin this show by continually selecting people that are out there to somehow, I guess, select or to gain personal goals rather than to win the show. The only redeeming hope that they have is when you get someone like Keith on the show, that there's some sort of big like season finale where they gather these contestants together in one way, shape, or form, and they hold his feet to the fire and get him to explain why 25 days was the goal when this is to survive for 100. What purpose is it to be out there for 25 days? I don't understand. You win nothing. You get nothing from the game. I think if they continue to select people that are tapping out, I mean, he tapped out at like what, day 21. He I don't know if it was day 21 where he found he didn't have any. He finally, after 2.5 weeks, decides, oh geez, maybe I'll put a gill net together and try my luck at fishing. He's got time to tattoo his damn ankle, but he does have zero time for 2 weeks to make a gill net. And then he makes a gill net, throws it in and checks he doesn't have anything, checks the snare and gets something, and then and that might have been day 20, or what was it, 21, has something to eat, and the next day starts puking like he's sick and taps out. There's people on Naked and Afraid that will lay their ass in a hut for 3 days because they don't feel well. There's been people on Alone that have kind of bedded down for a day or two when they haven't felt well. I don't know what is going on with these people. These producers have just picked some weak-ass individuals that really aren't there to win the $1 million. They're out there to set some sort of personal goal. Apparently, Keith spent about 24 days in his local national forest, and he thought maybe if he stayed out in the Arctic for 25 days, he could set some new personal wilderness goal. The producers are going to end up ruining this show. They need to find 10 badass people that if they break their damn leg, they're going to tie a couple of twigs on each side of it, make a splint, and grab another couple of trees for crutches and hobble their ass around that tundra to win the money. If they keep picking these people that are willing to tap out because they get a tummy ache or because they miss their family, well, the show might as well tap out. Because they can't find people that are going to meet that. I still think Roland, I don't know what happens if, for instance, if Roland's the last one standing and it's 70 days, does he have to gut it out for 30 days to, I guess to win the million? Does he win anything if he's the last one standing and it's 70 days? I don't know. I sent an email to the History Channel and asking them about tracking, and I think I asked them if they didn't stay, but I haven't heard back from them yet. So, hoping to hear something. If I do, I'll post it. But the producers have got to rethink this, or they really need to hold. They really need to hold contestants like Keith to the fire, their feet to the fire in the season-ending interviews, and really ask him if, did the producers know he wanted 25 days? Did they know that was the goal and they still selected him? Or did you hold that back from us, 25 days? They need to start. This kind of stuff has got to come to an end, or the show's going to come to an end. So, with that, hoping things get better for the rest of the season. It's a great show, and I just hate to see this happen to this show. With that, this is Treasure Troller saying aloha and good day.